You are sexy. Sexy human being you are. Welcome to Center of Light Foundation. You are the tribe. You are the nation. It's good to see you. Something's on my mind. I don't know why. What am I pausing for? Hello, Dana Truder. Hello, Ted Rudez. Hello, Kelly Bird. What is it that's on my mind? Give me a moment. It's pressing. I'll find it in a minute. Welcome to the Center of Light Foundation. Tonight is Center of Light. I'm lonely, y'all. Whoever you may be. Lonely. Me, myself, and I. It seems like it's just me. Welcome to eternity, because it's always just you. Always. 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 Just you. Even in a room full of people, you are by yourself. For those who this is applicable to, for sure. But generally speaking, we are all really by ourselves because we're left with ourselves always internally. How do we feel? Do we feel disconnected? Do we feel connected? Do we feel ashamed? Do we feel confident? Whatever this may be, this is all an internal dynamic of oneself and what one believes about oneself. But tonight, I want to reach out. And I hope, sure as, if you're such a one, that you reach back. I dare you, in fact. I dare you. And I'll take it to whatever level you want and I'll start pushing. Because you've shown interest in reaching to me as I've reached out to you. Are you lonely? Huge difference between being alone and lonely. You are never alone. Ever. If you knew who walked beside you at all times, you will never feel alone nor be afraid ever again. If you're such a one who is hurting because you feel only because you think, and then you act. You think you're alone, which creates the feeling of being alone, lonely rather, or alone, it's applicable in this way. And then you act upon it. Whether you know that you're doing it or not, you're doing it all. Become conscious of it. So that's where that power Easter egg's been hiding, right there. That's where it's at. Or you where it's at. You may have lost a loved one. God bless you. In death, in life. Hello, Marina Govier, Katie Marriage. Everyone, why not? Christmas is coming. Please share this gift. Somewhere, one place, 10 places. I have a big presentation tonight because the subject of being lonely is a big subject. Maybe not for you or I, but for one whose life has went awry and they are in it. But you gotta skin it to win it. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna jump in. Not only am I gonna pick you up and throw you in the river, I'm gonna jump in with you. And I'm gonna hold your hand and you're gonna hold mine. And we're gonna skip to the little, my darling, flies in the buttermilk shoe, fly shoe. But it's all about you. And I'm here. I'm always here. I sit in this chair when I wake up till I go to bed. Except run some errands, eat some food, and use the bathroom. The little boy's room. I'm in it to win it. Are you such a one who is so lonely you can't understand why no one likes you? This is from your perspective. Your perspective. People love you. When I went through that dark night of the soul, I'm running sound. I'm a sound engineer, mixing music for live bands, right? And the dearest friend of mine came up to me and we started talking, and for a couple of minutes, and he said, I gotta go. I said, where you going, bro? He goes, Keith, I can't stand to be around you. He didn't like me, but he loved me. As to why he couldn't be around me. I was a sobbing ball of mess always. Never moving through this loneliness I had because of said girlfriend of 10 years that left. See, people love you no matter who you are, where you are, how you are, what you are. What gets in the way is the guilt. More so, I'm not worthy to be loved, to feel loved. So, what do? You become worthy and you touch yourself and you feel loved, because all you need is yourself to feel that very same love. Because when you start thinking about these quandaries, these issues you're having with yourself that you're fighting, there's no delighting, there's no enlightening, there's no igniting. Nothing is inviting except the trouble that you're in. Because you think it is. Because you feel it is. Because you act of it. It is, and it becomes. Well, Keith, you don't understand my plight. Probably don't. I know the dynamic of energy. Are you alone? Lonely? Then you don't have to be. But it is the best place to be. When you shift from lonely to alone, it changes. Well, I'm still wanting it changes. But Keith, it just simply changes. If you get what you want, fantastic. And if you don't get what you want, and you love yourself when you are alone, it doesn't matter. Here's the kicker. But when you love yourself when you're alone, then all the things you were hoping would ever happen that never did happen. Why? Because you're happening. You're the happening one. But still in all, don't get hung up too much on that. What's up, Jody? Jody Lee. I don't know if it's Lee or Lay. Whitus, Whitus. Your name is so confusing. Hello, Melinda, my dear sister. So when you shift from loneliness, my heart is aching. Damn right it is. When you lose a partner in life, when you divorce a partner in life, be it in death, be it in relationship, the reason you are in such pain is not because you've divorced the situation of relationship. It's because you have divorced yourself. It'll rip your heart right open. It'll get you every time. Being alone and finding your peace is the seat of the soul, aka your expression of God at your essence. When you can sit and do nothing by yourself and feel so fulfilled. Broham Sandwich, Sister. Thank you, Jody. She says it's Lee. Jody Lee. Now we got to get through the Whitus or the Whitus. I think it's Whitus because there's two D's. Whitus would be one. So when you make the change, the shift between lonely and alone, you can never love yourself until you're by yourself. And the more that you're by yourself, the more you are in the prime position to love yourself. More so, ongoingly, consistently, foreverly, eternally. Jody's being all kind of cray-cray. She says, or white ass or white ass. You pick your flavor or your poison, chigga. So I have a big presentation. If you know someone, if it's you or if you know someone who is hurting, they feel so desperately alone, share this, care this, pray this, dare this presentation to fall on someone's heart. It's probably going to last about an hour and a half. I have a lot. It's a big subject. Maybe not to you, but for those few who may be around you, It's going to be thorough. Going to help you get out of the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul. That place where things are always wonky. But what we don't understand is in that place is everything that's funky. God, the good stuff. You have to sit in your hell to find your way through it. And once you do, it's over forever. If you don't like the color of your room is some sort of puke green. You don't like it. You can get out of the room because you can't stand the color all you want. But you can't paint the room a different color until you come back in it. You can get out of the room of yourself all you want, but you can't change it until you paint yourself in a new way. Do you have an artistic hand to change your dynamic? Melinda says, sit with you donkey. Let me look at my notes. Center of Light Foundation on Roku. It's starting to unfold. 10 videos are there. And after a few days, it's going to just start populating. Special classes, things that are free, special classes. But also, if you look here, you will see Center of Light Foundation donate. Donate to Center of Light Foundation. You're not donating to me. You're donating to people that Dr. Katie Kamara and I want to feed. People that you want to feed. Food, shelter, education. Without food, you don't live. End of story. So it has to start with food. If you go here, and if you're interested in my bestsellers, downloads, ebooks, if you will, very cheap. There's no overhead. I think it's like $2.99. But also it's all backwards, excuse me. So also at this QR code, you will find a Center of Light Foundation store. Coffee mugs, sweatpants, jogging pants, sports bras, Steins, all kinds of Center of Light stuff, merch. And it's this image and this image combined one on top of the other. It looks really, really cool. Support how you can. Always be how you are. I'm going to look at my notes before going to a break. I have a big presentation. It's going to be huge. Huge. Happy Halloween. You are all scary. Trust me. You're scary as hell. And I love it. Before I go into the next segment, if you have Roku or a Roku device, to be with Center of Light Foundation, go to your Roku device where all the apps are. Don't go to Roku. Just go to the device where all the apps are. ESPN, Netflix, Hulu, Roku, and all the apps. Scroll down. You'll see on the left-hand side, streaming channels. Click streaming channels. And then you'll see a little purple square right about here that says search channels. Type in Center of Light Foundation. Add Center of Light Foundation. Give me 5-star review. Everything is coming. It's what we are all due. Looking at my notes finally before I go into the next segment. Happy Halloween. You are beautifully scary to me. Are you conscious of your speaking? Or are you just talking? Are you conscious of your speaking? If not, you're just talking. When you pray to God for yourself, be willing to fall into your ignorance to be found in truth. Loneliness does not come from divorcing or losing a partner, but from divorcing yourself, as I mentioned earlier. Moving through anxiety is about changing your mind, or rather, getting out of it completely and begin to dwell in the heart, where there is no internal battle taking place. And the Holy Spirit descends. And I say to myself, I am obedient to all that is good. All right, we're going to take a short pause. Let me look in the rooms. Check out the YouTubage. Dana Trotter up a there. All right, Jody says, when I sit with myself, selves, I remember who or what the I am. Yeah. So I'm going to take a song break because it's about to open up. It's going to get really, really big. Again, please share not my work, my play, my heart. If you know someone who is moving through a dark night of the soul in such a way that they feel lonely, it doesn't require being alone to be lonely. You can be in a room of people and feel lonely because of such disconnect. Hello, Denise Ann Griffin. Oh my God. God just appeared in the form of Denise Ann Griffin. I have not seen this beautiful soul. My God. And umpteen years ago, she would always, her and a partner, come see King Trio. It's good to see you. So tonight is shifting from loneliness to aloneness, being by yourself, loving yourself completely, wholeheartedly. You can be with other people and still feel that you're by yourself. You're always going to be by yourself. People may not like you because you're always whining and grinding that gear, but they love you. Become sincere. Simply, you will appear to them in a very clear way. And what you are looking for will simply find you. But you have to find yourself. Hello, traveler Trisha. Stick around. I just met virtually this cat from Kentucky. He writes his own music and he plays every instrument. He's just this really, really cool, organic kind of guy. Denise says, no partner anymore, and God led me to your soul and your lesson tonight, much needed. Girl, I remember you so well. I had a crush on you, I have to tell. His name is John Driver. This is one of many songs he's going to start sending to me. He's very organic. He's a very, very cool, simple kind of cat. Song break, going to be right back. We're going to be here for another hour, for sure. I am. Let me find John. Song called, check this out, We Never Went to the Moon. Check him out. Stick around.
the moon. That's odd, isn't it? And according to NASA's Don Pettit, we can't go back because we destroyed the tech. And NASA states before we put men on Mars, the Van Allen belt problem must be solved. The radiation's too deadly to pass through, but not for the Apollo crews. We never went to the moon.
Anything that indicates the planetary data is even in existence, and as I said, even if we had it, we don't have the machines to play it back.
I could go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, like it. If you didn't like it, but you're an unpredictable person, like it. And if you haven't looked into the moon landing before, I suggest you look into it for a week or so. You might be surprised at how fake it is because it's pretty astonishing. Like, it's not even close. But anyways, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.
Welcome back to Center of Light. Just to let you know, I have no political affiliation about whether the moon landing was real or not. Well, actually I do. And you probably can guess what it is. My sister, Crystal, says, my squeaky chair. My sister, Crystal, says, give yourself permission to be happy again. Thank you all. I appreciate you joining. Good night. Give yourself permission to be happy again. In that is a lot A lot. It's the overview that I didn't see coming, and Crystal gave it all she got. Give yourself permission to be happy again. Tonight is Center of Light. I'm lonely. Me, myself, and I. It feels just like I'm by myself, even with lots of people around. It's because you are. You're just compounding the issue by what you think is happening. And it is happening because you're fashioning yourself into this experience. It may be horrible, but it's my experience, okay, mister? No one is ever trying to downplay or downgrade or desecrate what is sacred to you. We all go through our walk, our talk, our dance, fire in our pants at our own pace. But if you're such a one who is willing to dive into the grace by dying what you know when you look in the mirror as your face and all the facade it entails, it pales in comparison because there is no comparison in the first place. There's no me, there's no them. All there is we, which ultimately is you. When you shift from lonely to alone, you're able to pull the sword out of the stone. It's going to require you to be by yourself to love yourself. You will never find yourself until you're by yourself. So what I suggest, support, hurrah, hooray, you go guy, you go girl kind of thing, is become comfortable in being, that's such a lazy word, become exuberant in being not alone, but by yourself. Nobody else is around you to distract. Because once you move and you take action, your satisfaction will begin to migrate to you, and it's over. Eternally, it is over. Over and over. Red Rover, send John or Jill Doe right over. I don't need John or Jill. I just need to sit with myself for a little while. A long while, if necessary. Well, how long are you talking here, Keith? However long it takes. And if you're willing to dive into that fire of, and truly not as a masquerade or trying to manipulate the universe, because you can't do it, but in your willingness to lose yourself to find yourself, it hastens the arrival of your true self itself. I'm willing to be alone no matter how long it takes. Good for you. The Buddha, Gautama, Siddhartha, sat under the Bodhi tree after searching year after year after year after year. He got tired of searching. Tired. And he sat under the Bodhi tree and said, "The earth as my witness, I will not leave this spot until I become illumined." He didn't have to sit for an hour. He didn't have to sit for a week. He didn't have to sit for a year. His intention of meaning, life is about meaning, what we give it, was so pure. The earth as my witness, this is all an illusion. I will sit here as long as it takes. Boom! It happened. And it can happen for us in such levels of gradation in our graduation towards elation. It's simply by wanting it at the expense of everything. You can't bring your religion to God. God is above religion. And you have to take your shoes off. Because you're walking on holy ground. Moses, remove thy sandals from thy feet. You are on sacred ground. Your life is sacred ground. And when we live our lives in such a place of humility, the grace that begins to blanket us. Shroud is a good word. I love that word. In this context, shroud us. We touch the garment that has been lying dormant for so long. My conversation with Spirit many years ago, back and forth dialogue with Spirit. Spirit says, shall we play with some of your words to facilitate a lesson, Keith? And I say, sure. If you look at the cliche of tonight is center of light, lonely, me, myself, and I. Spirit says, if you look at the cliche of me, myself, and I, you might recognize the me in this situation as what you once thought yourself to be. Separate, I get it. You lost someone, you by yourself. Even in a room, you by yourself. Separate, alone, and detached. With this viewpoint, it is a viewpoint, it is a perspective. Seeking self-gain is automatic. You do not have much choice in the matter because such an attitude is never about the true you. It is always about the ego and what it wants. The ego. What is the ego? It's the monkey in the head that never shuts up. So what is the monkey in the head that never shuts up? Go to bed tonight. And as you're trying to quieten yourself into the level of spirit, the only thing that you will be able to hear it is the monkey, ooh, ah, ah, ooh, doing this thing. If you look at the cliche of me, myself, and I, you might recognize the me in this saying as you once thought yourself to be, separate, alone, and detached. With this viewpoint, seeking self-gain is automatic. You don't have much choice in the matter because such an attitude is never about the true you sexy human being. It's never about the true you. It is always about the ego, the monkey, and what it wants. You must be willing to toss that me of yours into love's purifying fires to ignite the flame of who you really are. You must not continue to let your ego steal from the self that you are in order to appease the mirage self. You must turn your you must turn your selfishness into selflessness. And I asked the question to Spirit, any suggestions about how I can become more giving and allowing? Oh, my dear Lord. You must reverse the formula from me, myself, and I to I, myself, and me. First, see God, I, the I, as the totality of all things. Next, honor the higher self, those people, or it's me. It's always me. It's the God. I am me. It's me. Honor the higher self in all people, the goodness in all people, the higher self. Some people have an issue with the higher self, especially, it doesn't matter. The goodness in all people. You must reverse the formula of me, myself, and I to I, myself, and me. First, see the God that lives in you, that which creates worlds and universes. I am in my Father is in me, and I am in you. It's here. It's all there. As the totality of all things. Next, honor the higher selves, the goodness in all people, in everyone. Then accept everyone as they really are. This is the way out of getting out of loneliness into being alone and loving it. Accept everyone as they really are, facets of you. And then I ask the question, this is delicious, like cheesecake with extra whatever toppings. And I ask Spirit the question, will living like this get me the love I need so I can be more giving? Spirit kicks me in my pants and says, not quite, buckaroo, basically. Your ego is still dictating to you that you have a lack of love and that it must somehow be gained. This is the difference between being alone and lonely. You feel that you have a lack of love and somehow it must be gained. But love is not something that you get. Love is something you are. It is the very stuff that you are made of. Me, myself, and I, God. And I ask Spirit, continuing with this dialogue, any other suggestions about how I can merge with that self? Yes, Keith, trust me with your life. Surrendering the whole thing up to me will ease you into divine order quite nicely. and I say, but that's so tough for me to do all the time. And Spirit continues, I have never said that pursuing a divine life would be easy, Keith. But oh dear God, but my Spirit speaking, but my reality is for those who really want it. That's got to sting, because it stings me reading and hearing my own words, whatever words. My reality, Spirit says, is for those who really want it. And I say, how do you do that? And Spirit says, do what? Cause me to feel so present with such simple words. I have had a lot of practice, and that is what I encourage you to do, Keith. Everybody, practice, practice, practice! Exclamation point. I know how challenging living in your world can be, especially when its temptations keep you wanting much of what it has to offer. But you can free yourself being alone, as we talked about earlier. But you can free yourself from your bondage. Being alone, you think, is I'm free. I have liberation. I'm by myself. No one's encroaching. That is a bondage, perception-wise. But you can free yourself from your bondage anytime you choose by making God/divinity your only want. Lifetime after lifetime, you have tried so hard to be with me. This time, stop trying. Just be with me. Step back from your life's movie and see with your divine eye. The all-knowing, all-seeing, ever-present eye. The I is in the letter I of God. You have to be by yourself to love yourself. Otherwise, everything around you that surrounds you is distracting and impacting you, compacting you to move to your greatest possibility. If you are such a one that feels so alone, oh my dear Lord, you are so in the garden and ready to be graced upon your face and to be blessed. It's because in the dark night of the soul comes the illumined light of God. That's where the magic is. Wherever you have joy in your life right now, God is recognized. God is the presence, the source of said joy, because it always is. When we get these epiphanies and these gradations of waking up in our life, we go, and then it's called enlightenment. The riddle has been on me. Now I get the joke. No longer a reason for the joke to be told. Then that aspect of your life becomes awakened and illumined. And the dark night of the soul is where God is waiting. I'm going to move into the next quite a few minutes. Thank you for joining tonight at Center of Light. Lonely. I feel by myself. It's just me. God darn right you do. You should. You could. In that place, in that space, is everything we are all seeking for. And in such a way, we no longer seek for anything, because we understand, recognize, I am a sexy human being. So now we're going to move into an audio bite of a presentation I've done recently, sometime back, called The Gift of Solitude, Being by Yourself. Someone's left your life. God dang it, I know it hurts. No one's trying to squash your sacredness. But at your level, your pace, when you choose to simply put on shoes versus always sing the blues, new news, good news for the modern man, It's truly just a choice. Audio bike with a little bit of bling bling in the back. This is going to last a while. Enjoy. If you know someone who is hurting, we're all hurting. If you know someone who can use this presentation message, blessage to you and to them, stick around. Be right back in however long it takes. That's the gift. However long it takes, because you are eternal. So the however long is really not applicable. It's living in the garden eternally, watching yourself unfold to this beautiful thing, being, creation of all that is infinite. I'll see you shortly. Being by yourself. For a long time. How long, Keith? You'll know when. However long it takes. The gift of solitude. Aloneness. Alone. Seclusion. Privacy. Stillness. Peace. Separation. In this context. Seclusion. I did say seclusion. Being alone. For those who live alone are often, more so than not, by themselves. If they're good at it, they'll tell you there's nothing like it. Hello, Kelly. Solitude, privacy, silence, no talking, no story. A lot like that empty space I'm demonstrating. Be it working in your garden, playing guitar, prayer, meditation. Simply turning the world off. And I don't mean going into a meditation. I'm talking about being by yourself on purpose. That way you will be in purpose. Purposefully, you will find yourself. But sometimes, when the noise gets a little too loud in the world, and we get addicted to the world, or a person, the universe says, and you have no choice but to hear it. In fact, it doesn't say anything. It's been saying it. Now it's going to do something about it. And life partner, so you thought, both of you thought, ends. And you find yourself in that place. And that place, I've been there for 2 years. It's not fun. It makes you want to get out of it. Stay in it. A dark night of the soul is where you're going to find the light. So what darkness is it? It's not a darkness that you're really in, per se. It's you. Scared, alone, afraid, broken. And you want to bawl your eyes out. Good. Bawl your eyes out. Purge your soul. That's been poisoned by the outside world and needing things, other people, and or a person to be your savior or your saving grace. If you do that strong enough, hard enough, you will find yourself in a very hard place. Rough, tough, and gruff. There's no way out except you finding your way in. This is how you win. Solitude, the gift of it. That dark night of the soul, I didn't like it, I wanted out. But it was forcing me to stay inwardly. Not because I'm Mr. Spiritual guy. It just kept me in this place until I worked my way upward, which is inward, forward, toward letting the old thing go, completely letting it go. Surrender. One of the greatest benefits of solitude and the gift you will receive because of it and from it and through it is surrender. Going back to that which is tender. Solitude. Well, Keith, I'm okay by myself. I just don't like to be by myself. I call horse hockey. If you truly know what it's like to be alone, I'm not meaning lonely. There's a big difference between alone and lonely. Alone means I'm by myself. Lonely means I'm by myself, but I need something else. Reflect inside. You can do it in this moment. How often are you alone? Maybe start going out a couple times a week, whatever is your way, and go do something you've been wanting to do that's not busy. It's important that you're not busy. Tonight is Center of Light, me. It's about me. This is speaking from your point of view. It's about me. Me. If I don't have enough money in my checking account, if I write a check to someone because I want to do a good deed indeed is not what's going to happen because the check is going to bounce. It's temporary. Can we permanently fix ourselves into a better possibility? One way to find that sweet surrender is to pray like a lover, not a beggar. Pray like a lover. You're in it. I'm in the solitude, the grace, the stillness. Be still and know of God. I'm still. I'm still. You can be very still planting flowers. You can be very still meditating or praying. You can be very still cooking. You know, you may have to stir the pot. You're in inspiration. You're thinking about what you're going to add, what you're going to be, and all these inspiring possibilities of what to add into your spiritual soup will come up simply, and you add a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Again, for those who practice being alone and you're getting really good at it, you're probably wanting more of it. You're not trying to run away from reality or discard people from your life or push people aside. We all have our place to each other. But when you can be in solitude and experience the gift of it, bruh. Kelly says this is powerful. See? But there's no force here. There's no force. There's no force. There's no, though some of that is needed sometimes. I like that energy. I love it. I love it. I want some more of it. I like power. I like fire. I like passion. I like getting in. I got something on my eye. Bruh. There we go. But like Kelly just said, oh my God, it's powerful. There's nothing really happening here. I'm just reflecting to you something you already know, or maybe not practice. But I'm just reminding you simply, Center of Light me tonight. It's about Center of Light me. You. It's you. This is what you say to yourself. It's me. It's all about me. And I deserve to be selfish. So much so that I push everybody out of my house. The party's over. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Y'all need to go home. Likewise, when life's party, metaphorically, is 2 o'clock in the morning, y'all need to go home, and I need to stay in my house. Or in my sanctuary. Your sacred little place, big place, whatever it is you've created, that's a shrine and an altar to your deity, which is Center of Light you, the gift of solitude, prayer and meditation, communion with God, simply by being, simply sitting and doing nothing. are doing something, but there's not a whole bunch to it. You're truly involved, but there is no force. In such subtlety, people think it takes muscles and might and bombs falling out of military aircraft, and they call that power. That's not power at all. You want to look at real power? The power that holds everything together, even your body, holds the planetary body, the celestial bodies, the galactic bodies, the cosmic bodies together. It's subtlety. It's solitude. God sits in stillness, and all the universe swirls around him as extensions of itself. But the further you go to the outer rings of the spiritual nucleus of self, the more noise you will hear, and the louder it will be, and the more dense it will be. The energy, that is. You ever heard the expression, he thinks the world revolves around him? That's God. The universe revolves around God. Revolves from the core of solitude, infinite possibility, silence. Be still and know with me. I'm forever going to be in knowing, Spirit would say. Forever. In fact, without me sitting in silence and solitude and being alone forever, all of it would disappear. There's no noise in the core. In the nucleus, there is no noise. All there is infinite possibility, yearning, churning, turning, and burning within itself. And if God has will, or chooses to will something, whatever that will be, it doesn't pull out a hammer and a chisel and start making something. It's simply in such silence, likely liken this to picking up a very small pebble and throwing it into a very still pond. Boop. And things nicely flow and comes back to the center from whence it was created by the Creator. This is the gift of solitude. It's powerful. It's quiet. And the quieter you learn to become, the quieter you will be and express that. So much so, some people may start missing you because in such a way you've become invisible to them. They might be used to hearing you talk or chiming in. And you could be sitting right there next to them and they may not even recognize you because they're expecting the you that they know you to be chatty. And that's not you anymore. And so in your becoming invisible, you've shifted up a layer, a level, another vibrational frequency. Then certain people, seriously, they will not be able to see you anymore, or at least recognize you as they have always thought you to be. There's some activity going on Facebook. Let me look. Abigail says, I no longer hide from others like I used to. I know that I will return home soon. So I hang on and go with it when I have to socialize like today. I no longer pressure myself to be different in public. That's what the deeper fear of abandonment that I've been working hard on. It's multi-layered. It's a multi-layered onion for sure. Kelly Bird says, mine is outdoors in my backyard. I love it. There is a very significant power that is you. It doesn't belong to you. It is you. You just don't know that you have it. I'm still learning, but I'm accepting mine truly. I'm loving the solitude. Pretty much my whole life I've been alone, except the 10 years that brought me to the dark night of the soul, where I learned, experience integrated the gift of solitude. The gift of solitude. It's just nothing. in such a way you become a living altar. Because you've been altered. You become a living altar, a living, breathing, personified altar who has been altered, and now your life is something you offer. And you're offering, this wheel begins to turn and fold within itself, and you begin to expand into consciousness, into consciousness, into consciousness. I've gotten emails often from people, excuse me, people saying, Keith, there's certain things I see you just, that happens for you just like that in the form of your intuition. You know, how do you do that? I don't know how to do it. I don't try to do anything. I just sit and I'm quiet. And even when I'm sharing like I am now, there is a getting more profound quiet in me. I've quietened down a lot in 5 years. Wow. The mind, how much I say, who I speak to, who I don't. Speak really when it's time. You want to find out solitude? Go to an ashram. Though there may be other people, you feel unified separately. No one wants to talk to you because they're interested in growing, so they want their solitude. Go to an ashram, take a pilgrimage, a journey, a soul journey, anywhere. Stay 2 weeks, stay a month, however long you choose. Be gone, completely gone into a place where you feel alone. And I don't mean I'm by myself. It will bring out the loneliness in you. Good. Well, Keith, I don't feel like being lonely. Yes, you do. If growth is what you want, you need to dive your ass into the loneliness and then find yourself in it, then the nightmare is over. If we can liken solitude to a very tiny seed, that core, the nucleus of God, the idea, the seed, that which brings forth life, just a little seed. How can such a little seed create an amazing tree? We're talking about a 60-foot tree, huge, big old tree, or like an oak tree, all from this one little burst of light. At conception of anything is a burst of light. Did you know that? This video that will show you. When two cells come together, father, mother, it's a burst of light, a discharge of light. How can a tiny seed create a majestic, mighty oak? And the potential of infinite forest, all from one seed. See, when the sperm and the egg come together, they're not having a discussion. They're not talking about how things are going to go about. And this dance, this marriage, the universe begins to move. And it brings everything onto this earth by its unity. So when something is being birthed, there's no conversation happening. Most of the time when you're with a life partner and you're having a really good moment, you'd probably agree it's not about speaking. You can just be in this kind of music, candles and incense, just laying in bed, hands behind your head, whatever you're doing, and just being in the space of another. There's no talking happening. Solitude. And if you can have solitude with not only yourself and other people of solitude, minds and hearts come together, the level of silence and the gift of it graduates over and over and over with every solitude, attitude person that's together. That's why if you get on an ashram and everyone is in their silent space, which means you do your thing, I'm gonna do my thing. This is about my dialogue, my samadhi with God. But when you all go to the temple and you go into solitude or prayer and meditation together, thousands of you, you begin to hear the silence. The silence gets so loud, it almost becomes deafening. I bet we never thought silence had a tone, a sound, a volume. My friend, it does. Because you're hearing it with a whole new skill set. It's a total different skill set of listening. Solitude. Stop moving around. Don't make excuses. Just stop moving around. Try it for yourself. Extend your practice if you're doing it already. The importance of solitude and the practicing of being still and quiet. Again, this does include prayer and meditation, but I'm speaking about a lifestyle. Listen how, you're going to hear it in the music. You're going to hear the music. But in the music, listen to the non-hurriness of it. It's not hurry. It's not trying to yank you into the experience. It's trying to put you adrift onto... It's blowing you like a feather adrift on the breath of God. That's what solitude is. In between the music, listen to the solitude. Listen to the quiet. And what you have or will experience in such a place, everything is possible. And if it comes up into your consciousness or into what you would call your mind, then it's possible. No matter what you think it is, everything is possible. It's impossible for everything to not be possible. How you like that for conundrum? Can I heal myself? Be still and know. Can I create this new house, this new partner, this new job, but more abundance in my life? I don't know, can you? Can you do it without effort? Well, not really, Keith. I have a job and I make my money that way, and that's cool. I'm glad you're working. Well, all that, good, fantastic. But if you can have money, abundance in any form, by not doing anything at all, or you're open to the idea. Solitude and the gift of it. It's a gift. In the empty space between the notes is the grace. The real music, actually. Center of light, you, me, we. Kick your kids out the house. Y'all go do your thing. Do what you gotta do. And you sit there, turn the TV off. Just turn the TV off. In fact, if you're new at this practice, just sit there. Don't put the TV on. Don't even put some cool floaty music around. Like you hear right now. Don't even do that. Just sit there. Well, Keith, it sounds boring. You think it sounds boring because you have no understanding of what actually lives in there. When you touch it, those who don't love themselves have never spent time alone. You will only find self-love when you find self-time. You will not love yourself until you are by yourself. Because when you're by yourself and you have not done the spiritual work, you want to put the TV on. We all like music. You don't have to be spiritually not expanded to love music. The point is, anything that comes from the outside has a tendency, many things, not a tendency, but absolutely will distract you from your core, from your inner space and peace. So you sit there doing nothing by yourself. And then, trust me, things will begin to show up inside. How do you feel about said things showing up? How do you feel? Well, I want to go do something. It's your choice. Or you can sit there and heal. something else will show up. Something you feel that you really, 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 really have to do. The question is, do you really, 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 really? Or is your mind convincing you to make you think that you really, 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 really need to go do this thing? Now it comes to a level of honesty. And only in solitude and silence would you ever have seen that reflection of yourself that is very deceiving. It's about receiving the grace, the gift. So what does this gift look like? It doesn't have an appearance at all. You can't touch it. You can't touch solitude. You can't. It's not something that you can just grab. You can't grab solitude. You can't even see it. But guess what? You can touch it and you can see it. Do you want to touch it? Do you want to see it? Hello, Robert. Elaine says, yes, I love it for sure. And things do show up when I'm just being. And as you sit still on your couch, on your chair, or just lie in your bed, make yourself comfortable. When those things show up, write it down. I want to go do something, I'm bored. Write it down. I'm bored. Write it down. Get it out of your mind, put it on the paper. Make it tangible. I miss my friend, so-and-so. Let me give him a call. Write it down. You will start seeing where you are attached. That's the gift that comes from being quiet, sitting alone, in seclusion, privacy. Privacy in the UK. Just being quiet, sitting there. Self-evaluation. You will feel your body, you will feel your digestive tract, you will feel your heartbeat, you will feel the blood as it courses through your veins. It's magical. Then you really get to play, and it plays with you back. So what is this thing? It's not a thing. How do I achieve it? You don't achieve it. There's nothing you can do to get there. So what's the point of all this if there's nothing I can do to get there? That's the point. You don't do anything to get there. You be still. You just sit there. You have to go to the store and you have to do something. Turn the world off and go do your task. Stay in the space of quiet. Someone speaks to you that you don't know and they're just saying, hi, ma'am, just look at them and say it. You have to speak. Speaking is phenomenal. It's a gift. We project outward, so there's a lot involved in dialogue, beautifully so. But when it comes to a spiritual practice of solitude, per se, it's not allowed. If you truly want solitude and altitude. I love being alone. I love people. I love kissing some cheeks and hugging some necks. I do. I like being alone. It's my communion. It's my samadhi. And creating the things I do it for me. The center of light me. Are you doing it for you? Center of light you? Or are you going into the center, which is the light? You're the light. It's that easy. When you were created to come to the earth, sperm cell, egg, says, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Oh, I got an infinite friend now that turns into a child 9 months later. There's no conversation happening, but something powerful. The most amazing thing that's ever been created, the human being. Bruh. Fall to self-deservingness, and you will fall, and you'll find yourself not just being quiet. In this way, being quiet is almost like an action. I'm going to sit here and be quiet. It's like a verb. What are you doing, Keith? I'm being quiet. That's a verb. You fall into solitude and silence, the stillness of the core, the ever infinite active core. Plant what seed you want to grow. Forest, the tree of life, yours. Finding a new partner. Connecting with a new partner. Attract, whatever words. Abundance in every area of my life. Ways I never thought possible. To do that thing I love. Whatever it is. Solitude is the black hole that the ego is not strong enough to traverse. Solitude is the black hole that the ego is not strong enough or capable of being able to traverse. So that means when you actually are able to get into the black hole, that which everything is birthed, where time and space collapses, that core, you break through the ego. So the ego cannot get into complete solitude. So when you sit alone, all the noise will simply just start to rise. I want to go do this with my friend, I'm bored. This, that, the other. I want to do this because I'm bored. I want to alleviate this longing in me. So when you break through the ego into the swirling vortex of the black hole, what is the black hole? We talked about a seed earlier. Actually, black holes are considered the cosmic wombs because in it, not only does it collapse time and space, it births stars forever, infinity. That's the seed. It's planted. It continues the process of life. Equally, a black hole can destroy. So they both cancel each other out, create and destroy, and become, there is no create and destroy. All there is whatever is. And you will see that and be able to touch it in ways that you will not be able to see it in the form of an idea. Right now, if you can see it in the form of an idea, I see what you're talking about, fantastic, congratulate yourself. Follow that rabbit into the black hole, into the solitude, because there is a magnificent, majestic, beautiful, delicious gift that belongs to you, belongs to me. It's the same gift. In fact, when you grab yours and I grab mine, we're gonna be looking at each other and go, what are you doing here? So what are you doing here? Meditation and prayer is beautiful. You will find very sweet spaces, spots in your rituals, in your blessing of yourself and other people. This is different. This is deeper. If you can pray and meditate in that different, deeper space I'm referring to, you've just exponentiated your growth 10 times fold. Because you have one beautiful possibility that when you begin to ignite and illuminate in it, there's this huge burst of awareness and expansion that takes place in your being. Now you have another one. And when these two come together and they see each other and they do this, something else happens. I've had this happen to me many times in my life. In this destruction creation. And they're both are true, but they're not the truth. What does all this mean? Doesn't mean a damn thing. That's the point. It's not supposed to mean anything at all. It's your energy to wield, mold, manipulate, transform, transfigure, and whittle, and wield, and create this thing. Whatever this thing is. This is called liberation. Whether your thing and my thing are two different things, that's how it's supposed to be. Because otherwise, the point is, there would be no point. Mine's not yours and yours is not mine. There's lots of constructs, walls, models, ideas between the heart and the monkey. And the truth is, the heart is not here. The heart is located here, and the monkey is located on a lower level. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, the heart, even though it seems lower in the body, it's actually higher than the mind. So there's a flip here. So the trick you must learn to master is to reach down from your mind and up to your heart. Solitude. Practice it. Do it tonight. Hubby, wifey, kiddies, get out of the room. Or when they go tomorrow, make some time for yourself. Do the meditation, do the prayer, if that's what you want. But if you pray and meditate often, put that to the side for today. Sit there with your eyes open. Just sit there with your eyes open. Just kind of idea. Just be. And things will show up for you. They have always been showing up. And they have what's caused you to make not so awesome decisions. And you find yourself in a situation. Because all that stuff is still in there. And they're trying to outdo each other. I'm more important than you, so this one gets louder. And this one over here says, I'm more important than you, and this one wants to get louder. And next thing you know, you have a shaken Coke bottle that one day that cap is going to come off regardless. Be it in a big mess or even just a quick spillover. Solitude, there's a gift in there. It's not only about just being quiet. It's about falling into non-existence. That's scary shit, isn't it? I don't want to not exist, trust me. It's a leap. You have to jump off the high diving board to get in the water, the life water. Find that part of you that is nothing. That is pure being. You're loved beyond measure. Welcome back to Center of Light. Tonight has been Center of Light. Dear Lord, I'm lonely. It's just me, myself, and I only. I hear you. I feel you. I know what that's like. No matter how jazzed up you are in your life, when things are as good as they will be, or potentially, you're always by yourself. You are always by yourself. And when you make your loneliness to aloneness, it all simply changes. Because if you don't get what you think you want in partnership, relationship, whatever ship, it's okay. Because if you get that, that's just icing on the cake. Everyone loves a good moist cake. Be moist, snowflake. And then you require nothing else. There's a lot of other else's. Lots of things. Things are lovely. I like things. I'm on the earth, for whatever in my life that's worth, to play with things. I love things. We all love things. Let's look at it honestly. I like things. Because if you didn't like things, you would exit yourself or vacation yourself eternally to a Himalayan cave to become a fully lit yogi. But you're not. You could. I could. But we are not. So we like things. And the greatest thing of all things is when you look at yourself in the mirror. Keep doing that, because everything you look at is simply a mirror. Things will become clearer. If you are in a space in your life right now, a place in your life right now, where you are alone, cherish it. What a beautiful space to be in. Because it's all about you and your communion with the highest of intelligence. We call it God. We call it the unified field in science. You can call it that. In fact, let's just take the label and simply throw it away. Doesn't matter. And it does not dismiss what you're feeling. Doesn't now. And That is every bit as important that anything could ever be. Do you see? It requires you to take responsibility in being alone to claim what is your birthright, what is your own. You have to own it. Go through your dark night of the soul. However long you choose, love song or the blues, barefoot or no shoes, it's all up to every one of yous. But you can shift. I understand. Someone dear to you left the world. Dear Lord, God bless you. Grief is necessary, but when it becomes beyond necessary, it's not necessary. Then it becomes self-induced punishment. Suffering. You being alone is not buffering anything. You not being by yourself is buffering everything from showing up in many different ways that you deserve. I'm alone. You're not alone. You feel lonely, but you are not alone. You feel strongly, but you are not alone. Center of light, foundation. Food first. Shelter second. Education third. That is the Trinity that should be heard all around the world, for, through, and to every human being. It is until then, God will pick up the phone. Peace, love, and my God, you're lovely.